Hello, what's up my dudes? So for today's video, we're going to make a flattening jig. This flattening jig requires the use of a plunge router. This jig will flatten surfaces. After glue up, you will see that your planks are uneven. This will do the job. It will flatten your surface dead flat. This is the flattening jig. It's so simple to make and has a lot of uses. A joke, well, only flattening, but it is a very important use. So yeah, let's go in the build. To start this build, we need to measure the base of our plunge router. I'm using Lotus's plunge router and it has a base size of 6.5 inches. After that, measure 6.5 inches on your tape. Joke, wait, don't. Always remember to add the thickness of the fence. We're going to make a fence and it's going to be 3 inches in total because I'm going to glue together 2 pieces of plywood on each fence. After that, just add 1/4 inch to the total for a little wiggle room for your plunge router. I'm gonna explain later why I'm going to glue up 2 pieces of plywood for each fence. So again, remember to factor in the fence. Yeah, I have a small shop, so it's a bit of a struggle to cut big plywood. This is the base with a total of 9 3/4 inches to account for everything. Now for the fence, the height of your fence will depend on the handle of your plunge router. As long as the fence won't get in the way of the handle of your plunge router, it is good. Mine would be around 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut 4 pieces of 2.5 inches strips of plywood and I'm going to glue them together. This will add so much rigidity and will keep the base of your jig straight. With the first flattening jig I made, I did not make the fence thick. I did not glue them together. So after a while, the fence bowed. So it did not give me a flat surface when routing. So this is what I came up with. I need a thicker fence to hold the base flat. Commercial lang muna, I want you to check this out. As you can see, walang himulmol, walang tear out. It is a clean, smooth cut. The blade I use is Powercraft. Thanks Powercraft for sponsoring the blades. Very reliable ang Powercraft blades. As you can see, I used the 40-tooth one and as you can see, it still gives a clean, straight cut. Thank you, Powercraft. So to continue the build, this is what I'm saying. I'm gluing up the fence together. Again, this will make for a more rigid, a more straight base, a strong jig. After applying your glue, you can clamp these together and wait for a while to let the glue cure, or I just screwed them in place because I really need it ASAP. The downside is, yeah, you will see screws. It's not much of a clean build, but time constraint, I needed it, so I screwed it down. Works well. For our next step, I'm screwing down the fence to the base now so that I can mark the hole for the plunge router. By the way, take note of this orientation. The fence sits on top of the base, not at the side. Don't screw it at the side because that will result in an uneven jig. So again, on top, not the side. On top, not the side. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to mark the hole for the plunge router. We are just going to trace the hole and then run it through the jig and then cut it with a jigsaw. Of course, we need to make a starter hole and a relief hole at the other side so that we could put in the jigsaw easily and also end easily. Now we can remove the fence so that we can glue up the fence to the base. This will make for an even more rigid, an even more sturdy jig. I'm using Pioneer's wood glue, so yeah, glue and screw. We're going to glue and screw the fence to the base. So yeah, this is the last part. That's the flattening jig. Easy to make, very reliable, and will take your projects up a notch because of that flat surface. At the end of the video, I'm going to show how I'm going to use the flattening jig. I'm simply gonna flatten a bench top, and it's gonna be dead flat. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment what you think, and see you in the next one. Bye!